All right, looks like we've hit 9:05, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for joining us here today at the, what is it, July Fusion Pointe Town Hall. We have a few new members and a few guests joining us today, so I want to welcome everybody that's either your first time or first time recently joining us. Today's agenda is going to be a little bit different than how we have run these town halls in the past. So I'm going to start off with a quick video, and then after that we'll review in detail the agenda, and I'm going to hand things over to Bill Nemeth, the mentoring director of Jumpstart, to talk through some of the value add and benefit of going through this mentoring program from both the mentoring perspective and from the entrepreneur perspective to ensure that you're getting the most out of your participation in the Fusion Pointe program. So before we move on to that, let's go ahead and let me introduce this quick video here. So I'm going to play. So for those of you that have not seen our emails or have ignored our emails, we are really excited to be partnering 239 with Fusion Pointe in the 239 Labs initiative. So this is a formal accelerator, technology accelerator program that launches in September. Fusion Pointe mentors are encouraged to participate in the program as either a subject matter expert or as a mentor. Fusion Pointe startups are also encouraged to apply to participate in that cohort if you feel that it is appropriate for you and you will gain some value from going through the program. We'll talk more about that later. Here is our introduction video, fresh off the presses. This is revision 1. So hopefully that got you guys a little bit interested in the content that we're going to be presenting after Bill wraps up his presentation. For those of you that haven't had your coffee yet, hopefully woke you up a little bit and we can move right into the agenda. So again, we'll meet with Bill, then we'll welcome some new members to the mentor and startup community of Fusion Pointe. We'll talk about an upcoming pitch practice session and then delve deeper into the 239 Labs opportunity on both sides for mentors and entrepreneurs. And then we'll hit the Fusion Pointe outreach and social media awareness topics. So we'll hit those last. So without further ado, I would like to hand over the reins to Bill Nemeth and make him the presenter. And then we will have him take the stage. So just give me 1 second. Let's see. Bill, if you're speaking, I cannot hear you.
I'm not. I'm just watching you on the screen.
Okay.
No, I'll do my intro so people don't have to look at me. I can put up the slides and it'll be much better for everyone.
All right, you're ready to go.
All right, thanks. Morning, everyone. Sorry I can't be with you. I'm in beautiful Ohio right now. Still relatively locked down. I've talked to a lot of you before, but for those of you that don't know me, I'll give you 10 seconds. Recovering entrepreneur, done it more than once, exited once, killed one, intentionally. And I run a mentoring program here in Northeast Ohio for entrepreneurs, well, now through Toledo. We've helped a couple hundred companies. We birthed our first unicorn. It's got $1.5 billion valuation. And I also work with the universities around tech commercialization, teach the Lean Launchpad that Steve Blank created. So I speak from pain and experience when I talk about both mentoring and entrepreneuring. So I'm going to share my screen here. I've got a brief deck that I'll talk to. I am available whenever for connection via email, via phone. But I was around when they Fusion Pointe started the mentoring program. And the idea today is to kind of give you a super condensed refresher on the why, especially for the people that haven't been a part of the mentoring yet. Some people question its value, and I can tell you I wish I had it, and that's why I run the program. It fits my criteria for giving back, so we'll touch on it. I want to talk about what a mentoring session should be, and then a couple things that have become really critical that I've seen with a lot of entrepreneurs here, and I know exist in Southwest Florida. By the way, I'll be moving down there soon. I've got a place there, and I will soon call it home full time. So anyhow, let me get right into this. The why. First, right to the mentors. If you've coached anything, that's why. You know, the players may still be the worst one on the field at the end of the season, but you hope they had fun, they learned, and are better than they would have been. So it's seeing your time paid back directly on with a human being. It's not writing a check. It's not going to a meeting with a bunch of people and eating rubber chicken for lunch. The entrepreneurs, in hindsight, like kids and parents, you look back and go, oh my God, I would have died a flaming death had I not gotten a couple pieces of information. I would have lost my shit had I not had somebody I could talk to that was safe. The other thing about mentoring is it's really mutually beneficial. I've had a lot of mentors tell me a couple things. I didn't know I knew as much as I do. They suddenly feel smarter and validated. And I didn't know I could help people even though I wasn't in their particular industry. So that's been great. The entrepreneurs, you're getting free consulting, you're getting free help that you typically can't buy because these mentors aren't for sale. They're not selling their time by the hour typically. The fourth bullet is kind of my big thing, is move faster. You know, I've had people say, well, I'm going to learn social media marketing. Well, no, you're not. By the time you learn how to do it, you're still going to be bad at it. And the opportunity for your company is going to have moved down the line. Your competitors aren't learning. They're getting the people on their team to do it and do it now. So the mentors are there to help you stop wasting time in areas where you shouldn't be focusing because you can't afford that time. Specific expertise and advice. There are Fusion Pointe mentors that have been around manufacturing and information technology and have seen it happen, and no supply chains and no partnerships and no term sheets and no all these other things because they have experience with it. And when you have a question, even if you don't know what that question is because you don't know enough, there's somebody there that can help. And that's the idea for our mentors, to plug those holes. Accountability, being an entrepreneur is lonely. You can't turn to your co-founders or employees and go, I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't want to get up today. You can't turn to your spouse or partner or significant other and go, I can't stand this, because they're betting on you too. Can't turn to your parents, your investors certainly not. You can't go to them, I don't know what to do next. These people are there to help you achieve and to help you have somebody that you don't report to, but know where you should be. Then the last part, I've spent the past couple months doing almost nothing but this, taking phone calls, getting on Zooms about, oh crap, what do I do now? The mentors have been through the dot-com bubble typically. They've been through the Great Recession that followed the financial implosion. They've possibly been through other recessions. They may have bankrupted a company or gone under at some point. There's nothing to compare. For, the near-death experience is something you can't just read about in the book. So now is probably more important to be mentored than ever else, just because of what we're all going through. I kind of, the first time I was down there and we set this up, I went through the ideal mentoring session. This has morphed a little bit since then, but a lot of it still holds true 100%. Have an agenda. This is to the entrepreneurs. It's your meeting. You're running it. Someday you'll have to report to a board. Someday you're going to have investors. If you don't already, you got to be prepared. You got to be professional, and it's your meeting. The mentors aren't there to hear about what you did last month. This is about where are you going? How are you going forward? What did you do? What happened after you did it? And where are you going next? So let's get this thing moving. Challenge limitations. Entrepreneurs can tend to live inside their head, and it's the mentor's job to push them, ask them why, get them moving, look at priorities. Where should they be focusing their time? They're not your priorities, mentors, they're theirs. They got families, they've got issues, they live it day to day, but you can help guide them. You can help them establish what matters the most and focus, because entrepreneurs, you got 10,000 different things you could be doing at any one time. They all have some sort of value or not. But the distraction potential, the incidence of ADD, the incidence of those sorts of mental illnesses or challenges or issues in entrepreneurs are rampant because of what you're faced with every day. So use the mentors to help you. Work the problem. Find out the big issues. Identify what the issues are first and foremost that you got to get done before you can move forward and work them. The mentors are great about helping you with what you're missing. They know things you don't know because you haven't experienced them. I use mentors to help me see my blind spots. I always try to find the devil's advocate to question me, even if they agree with me. Have a plan. Where are you going? Milestones are key. Because as an entrepreneur, you're not building a house. You can't turn around at the end of the day and go, look what I achieved. The milestones are there to help you build value in what you're doing and know you've accomplished something. Celebrate them. They should build fundability. They should build customer base. They should move the program forward or move your enterprise forward. And your mentors should help you work on those and hold you accountable. Again, faster and bigger. Why only 20%? Why only 50%? Give me 500. What would it take to do 500% growth? And last but not least, what do you do before we meet the next time? And set the next meeting at the one you're in. Now I want to, before I get into the roles and responsibilities of the mentors and the entrepreneurs, I want to hit a couple points because I'm seeing it a lot in the market now. It existed before, but it's kind of been turned up to 11. First is bootstrapping. I did it. I raised a little bit of investment and technically bootstrapped everything else I did. You're going to need to do it a lot now. Funding, the landscape's changed. People are way more conservative. People are pouring money back into what they've invested in already. But bootstrapping makes you lean. It doesn't reduce the need for urgency, but you're going to get to a point, if you're going to do a truly fundable, scalable, blow the thing up type of endeavor where you're going to need to have some funding. and realize I've seen people with great ideas that move too slowly and had people just blow by them. I've got a startup right now that I've worked with for a couple of years, and every single meeting I've said, when are you going to raise funding? It started with, oh, I'm going to raise 200 grand. They needed 2 million. That was 2.5 years ago. Their direct competitors have raised 10, I think 14 and $22 million. They still haven't raised the 250. They're dead. They just don't know it. They're going to be a zombie. So I'm trying to push progress where it's worthwhile. So don't take me wrong in saying that investment's the most important. Get to the point where it's valuable and gives you a step function. Time versus escape velocity. The bane of my existence is listening to an entrepreneur going, I want to grow 20% next year. I go, well, you did $500,000. 20% is nothing. Doesn't even move the needle. Tell me how you're going to do 2 million or 5 million, and trying to get them to think bigger. The misconception about entrepreneurs is they're these risk takers. No, they're de-riskers. The best ones I know are de-riskers, and they can make them way too conservative in what they're trying to push for. So it may be team, it may be money, it may be your idea, it may be the execution. Figure out what you want to do and see if you can make it go faster. Add a 0. Last but not least on this slide is you don't have to. Do you want to? I've had a lot of people say, look, if I could just get it to 10 mil, I'm good. I don't want to grow it that high. I don't want to blow it up. I don't want to get funding. And that's fine. You're either not the right person to run it, or that's fine. Don't. You don't have to blow it up and scale it, but make it intentional. Don't just do it by default and let, like so many companies I've worked with, let the environment do it to you. Time value of money. That step function down in the corner. That's what it's about. People run around and try to raise money and because I need to fund my idea. No. I need to know how you're going to lever up what you're doing. Show me how it's bringing you to market faster, showing me how it's getting you to revenue faster, growing, profitability, adding value to the company. Too much in South Florida, too much in the Midwest, sits there and watches the coasts and even Europe blow by them because they're not trying to compress time and don't realize the money isn't to fund what you're doing, it's to fund an increase in value. Now I'm going to give you the bullet point guidelines, so I stay within my time, and Alex, feel free to yell at me if I run over it all. But mentors, you're volunteers. You could be doing anything else you want. It's really rewarding to help another person. It's neat to see your time that you deploy help a person, and helping them put a bullet in it and kill it. Helping them maybe ending what they're doing now or pivoting it so heavily that they got to get rid of most of their team so they can succeed at the second try or third try. I hate to see entrepreneurs do a one and done. So the mentors are there. You're there to help them. And there's data from all over the country. I got a ton of data from our program. The mentors have a tangible impact. My unicorn went from a laptop and a cell phone and an idea to $1.5 billion in under 5 years. The kid, and he was a kid, had nothing when I met with him the first time. He took mentor and he did his things. You can grow it. You can do it fast. And the mentors are tremendously helpful. Here's the guidelines I give for mentors. Candor, be honest. I literally, last week at the end of the week, told somebody something they had in their deck was stupid. Because I'm just a charming guy. But it wasn't just a mean, that's stupid. He was damaging himself. I then walked through the why, got him to understand, got him to figure out a better path and something that would work, and then how it was going to be implemented. The candor was he didn't have time. He was going to meet to raise capital, and some stuff that he had in his deck was a death sentence for him and the company, and he would have been taken advantage of. I couldn't let him figure that out. I couldn't wait till the next meeting. So the candor is, for all the entrepreneurs on the call, you're playing with real time, real money, your lives, your mortgage, your significant others, your future ability to go on vacations, whatever you want to look at. So the mentors may get in your face a little bit, may tell you that your baby's ugly, but they're doing it with the best intentions to keep you from harming yourself. Empathy, realize it's not easy being an entrepreneur. It really sucks a lot at a lot of different times. It's super rewarding. It's the best thing ever. I'm going to do it again. That's why I'm a recovering entrepreneur. But realize what they're going through now. You went through it once. Listen and be Socratic. We know you got a head full of information. We know you got a ton of value to offer. The entrepreneur needs to learn. Not overly slowly. Ask them the questions. Figure out what's in their head. Ask them the why they got to where they're at. It'll help them adopt what you're trying to tell them. Not your company, don't dictate. You can't mandate them do something. A lot of successful entrepreneurs, successful business people, my wife, no, just kidding. She's a lawyer, so I can actually say that, tend to dictate. She knows unequivocally, this is how, don't dictate. I know you want to, and opinion versus fact is part of that. If it's an opinion, let them know. It may be a super valuable opinion. It may be the right thing to do, but it's still an opinion. Keep them moving forward. Have some bias for moving forward. The urgency. I've got a lot of people that tell me, well, I'm planning on, no planning. Tuesday. Tell me how by Tuesday you're going to do this, or you're going to start it, or you're going to start to execute, or you're going to figure it out. Too slow in development. So I like to see the startups move. The encouraging action, it's really easy for an engineer, for an inventor, for an entrepreneur to study and plan and putz around because it doesn't talk back to them. The product doesn't talk back. The customer does. It's scary to get out there and try new things and experiment and have a hypothesis and give it a shot. But encourage them to do that. You don't always have to know. That's fine. You're human. And this is one that entrepreneurs may bristle at, but you don't have to connect them to anybody. They're your contacts. They're your network. When you feel it's appropriate, your recommendation or your connection, when you really believe in what the entrepreneur is doing and are really vested in their success, will mean a hell of a lot more than if you just give them a bunch of email introductions. So that's why I wanted to be judicious on both sides. On to the entrepreneurs, the reason we're all here. The mentors don't have to work with you, they're volunteers. They could go home, they could go golf, they could go, well, they used to be able to go to the beach whenever they want. But they're there for you. They're there to help a human being. Every entrepreneur, every mentor I've worked with has said the same thing. I want to see a human do better. This isn't about, no offense, the South, West Florida economy. It's not about the Northeast Ohio economy up here. When it comes down to the mentor, it's about the individual. So just accept the help, be coachable, and they're gonna do their best to help you. The first bullet is probably the most important thing on the slide. Nowhere else does an entrepreneur have access to a place to say anything they want and have no repercussions. The mentors are have a confidential relationship with the entrepreneurs. If you have investors, they have a fiduciary duty. They've got self-interest. No matter what they say, they've got self-interest. A board of advisors has some sort of interest, has some sort of tie and obligation to the company. They're not there for you. The mentoring environment is a place where you can literally go in and go, I don't know. I don't want to do this. My dog died. My kid's sick. whatever it is. I'm going to go bankrupt. I don't like the term sheet that Emmy Angels gave me. Whatever it is, they're there to help you. Listen to what they say. You don't have to know it all. They don't know it all. The advice you get is yours to use or discard, but they have the best intentions, and they've been through a lot of things to try to help. If you're having an issue, they don't know if you don't ask. Open your mouth. Don't be shy. They're there to help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Too many entrepreneurs have a Superwoman S or Superman S on their t-shirt they wear every day, and that's crap. It's not an individual game. It's a team sport. It's easier not to be defensive after you know the mentors a while. They're gonna tell you your baby's ugly at some point. If they're not doing you any favors if they don't. They shouldn't agree with everything you do. You know, this isn't your parent patting you on the head and going, good try. That's not why they're there. So don't raise the fences when they say something you may not agree with. Respect their time. Back to, they could be doing anything else but helping you. They're there for you. Focus on the future. Accountability is one thing. Dwelling on what you did in the past is another. It's going to keep you from growing. Last but not least, not last, but it's your company in the end. It's yours. You make the decision. You make the call. They're not going to do it for you. They're there to help. They're there to support. They're there to give you insight, but it's yours at the end. You can ignore what they're saying if you want. Be able to justify it, though, in your own head at least. Act with urgency. Do it now. Do something. Move. Inertia, being stagnant is what kills a lot of startups. They didn't find it, didn't jump on it, didn't move. Be honest. They're a mirror. I mean, they're there for you. They're there with you. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your mentor. Say you don't know. Say you're lost. Say you need help. Put it all out there, and it's okay. And then the last thing is, you got a phone. You can text on it. You can email on it. You can call people on it. Do it. The mentors want to hear. The mentors want to hear the reaction after a pitch for investment, or a big achievement, or a big sales pitch, or whatever it is. They're there to help you on an ongoing basis. And they're helping you right when something's happening, or right after something's happened, is the best way to do it. With this whole COVID thing, the people that came out of it, are coming out of it, that we deal with, went right to, after the, oh my God, what do I do? I'm dead, to pivoting, finding a different business model, finding different customers, and are skyrocketing out of it. They didn't just sit there. They picked up the phone. They didn't wait for the next mentoring meeting. They did what needed to happen for them to survive. So take advantage of what you got. That's all I've got slide-wise. I'm going to turn it back to Alex, or Alex has it. Yep. Now here you go. I'll make you host. So to end it up with, is mentoring makes a huge difference. Be honest with each other. Bias for action. Do it now. And it's super worthwhile. And the reason I run the program I do is I didn't get this help. It wasn't available when I started my company. And I would have shot myself in the foot a lot less if I had it. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Bill. We really appreciate you taking the time to share all of that with us. I know this is a presentation that some of you may have heard some of this content before, but I think it's very much worth refreshing and making sure that everybody's on the same page as we continue to push ourselves to the limit and work through some of these unique and interesting challenges that we've had over the last couple months for sure together. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. And I'm going to, where did we go? go. There we go. And I'm going to actually ask a few of you to speak up here as we go through. So please be ready to unmute your microphone as we go. So let's go ahead and see if I can click through here. Figure out how to use, there we go. So this is me. Again, for those of you that are new on the call, so my name's Alex Allen. I'm the program director for Fusion Pointe. And I'm the primary point of contact for setting up mentor meetings, things like that. I work closely with Mark Komenecki, sorry, Mark, Tracy Adams, and Don Platt. Unfortunately, Don, well, fortunately for Don, he's on vacation, but unfortunately, he's not here with us today as the mentor leadership team. So as far as our content goes, this will give some people on the list here a clue as to coming up on stage. So we are welcoming our newest member of the team. We'll also welcome some of our new mentors, talk about that pitch practice, brand awareness, the labs opportunity, and questions or updates from our mentors or entrepreneurs. So let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to officially welcome Liz Miller and LearnRobotics.org to the Fusion Pointe startup group. So I've known Liz for a few months now. She's based out of Southwest Florida in Fort Myers. She is incredibly passionate about what she does. And Liz, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself and telling us in 2 minutes or less what it is you do and what you're looking to get out of the Fusion Pointe program.
Hopefully you guys can hear me okay.
Yep.
Is it good? Okay. Well, thank you so much. Yep. I'm a former robotics engineer turned entrepreneur, and I'm bringing my tips and tricks on learning technical content completely online. So my goal is to kind of transform how e-learning is done, specifically for automation, robotics, and mechatronics. And we do that through our online course platform, and every student gets a robotics kit, and they can learn alongside the lessons at their own pace.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Liz. Appreciate that. And mentors, if you have any interest in learning more about Learn Robotics or working with Liz, please feel free to reach out to me. And I will get you guys in contact. Liz is currently looking for support in sales and marketing, going after some bigger enterprise level opportunities. So that's really the skill set that she is looking to bolster herself with currently. All right, next, I'd like to introduce two of our newest mentors. So we have Michael Puskar and Anil Pennington. So Michael, we'll start with you. If you could give us a quick 2-minute introduction. I know some of the mentors on the call and entrepreneurs actually know you fairly well, but it would be great if you could give us the quick intro.
Sure, absolutely. Glad to be here. My name's Michael Puskar. I'm a serial entrepreneur, investor, technologist with a background in artificial intelligence and big data. I've been doing it for 25 years. I did come out of the internet startup bubble. I've had 2 prior successful exits, and I've since then created an investment company that's called GITP Ventures, which invests in early stage pre-revenue companies. We've had 3 exits among that group. Most recently, a company called Plum Analytics. And I'm just you know, as an entrepreneur, I had a lot of people help me up along the way. I came from a very humble family to where I am now. So I guess the idea is that I want to be able to do for other people what I've done, what they did for me. And prior to this, I went to Colombia, and I lived there for 10 years. And I was in an ecosystem there that was very young. And we were able to build it up into something really great. So I'm really committed now that I live in Southwest Florida to doing the same thing here.
Great. Thank you so much, Michael.
You got it.
And then Neil, I believe you're on the call. Do you want to give us a quick introduction? Neil?
Hello?
Yep, there you go.
Okay, cool. Sorry, it froze. So I'm Neil Pennington. a varied career, sometimes spent in kind of big corporates, and then more latterly, obviously, in small businesses and entrepreneurial kind of endeavors. My corporate side was around energy and consulting in areas like smart metering, IoT. I was a director of innovation for a large energy company. And energy. I working in a startup which is looking at fractionalized ownership of distributed energy assets like large solar farms and creating new ownership models for that using blockchain. I spend time in UK. I'm in the UK now, UK and Europe, but also more and more into Florida as well, where I'm working with an organization, advising an organization that's putting a blockchain, a crypto platform for luxury trading. They're based out of Fort Myers in Switzerland, which is usually what happens with blockchain companies. And Decent Labs in Miami who do software development. And I'm also talking to Tracy Adams here about actually doing some work with her. So that's my background, and really, really keen and looking forward to helping out and giving something back.
Great. Thank you so much, Neil. And I think I speak for everybody when I say we're very excited to have you as part of the team and look forward to some great conversations. All right, next topic coming up. So Wednesday, August 5th at 12 p.m., so lunchtime, we will be running a virtual pitch practice. So this is open to any Fusion Pointe companies that want to participate. We already have two I know that are looking to participate in this event. So one being Fielder, Connor, I believe, is on the call, and then another is Stephanie from Stabilized Steps. This is to help them gain some experience with their updated decks before they pitch to Dave Chitester from Seed Funders. So looking forward to that. We have not identified all of our judges just yet, but we do want friendly faces that can provide very direct feedback. So for any of the mentors on the call, please, if you're interested to participate in that as a judge, please just email info@fusionpointe.org, and we will follow up with you and get you set up for that. Again, this will be virtual. It will be handled running a Zoom meeting, and we will also be recording the session so that you can, after the fact, pick yourself apart as well. So looking forward to that. Next piece. So I want to talk about brand awareness and program growth on the Fusion Pointe side. So on the brand awareness side, so I've sent out some messages and we have been putting a lot of work into our social media and marketing efforts. We've been sending out more newsletters. We've been posting content. We've revamped the website. We have been posting blogs and press releases. But really where the next steps is we just need to continue to get the word out. So that is really where we need the support of our mentors and entrepreneurs. So we need your support in sharing content. We need your support in listing out your participation in the program in any of your social media profiles, sharing that you're participating in the program with your friends, coworkers, and basically anyone that you feel that it would be of value to understand what Fusion Pointe brings to the table. Whether it's someone that's looking for mentoring, somebody that could be a potential mentor, or someone that could support Fusion Pointe financially as well. That's another big piece, as we are a nonprofit. So that's something that we do need to keep a focus on. Another way that you can help as an entrepreneur or as a mentor is to make sure that you're sharing content with us. So if you see interesting content or you have updates for your business, please share those with us so that we can then in turn get that information out there on our platforms. So as an example, Jason Becker, I believe you're on the call from Golf Life Navigators. I saw a post recently from one of your team members, Tyler, that about a news interview or an interview that you had done on one of the golf networks. So that is exactly the type of content that we would like to reshare and help you publicize and help you get some additional traction with that. So trying to work together to raise awareness for the startups and also for the organization. So really any content that you have, any new releases, any new feature additions, any updates altogether, we would really just love if you can share that. And then of course, reshare our updates from the Fusion Pointe organization. And then the next piece as well is program growth. So that comes along with the brand awareness. I mentioned a couple pieces there, but we are going to be reaching out directly, and we've already started reaching out directly to mentors and entrepreneurs to have conversations about potential points of contact, potential assistance in our fundraising efforts and things along those lines. We are putting in a lot of time and effort into the Labs initiative, into Fusion Pointe's growth, and building that strong relationship between 239 and Fusion Pointe. We really need support in a couple key areas. So please, when you see those requests for information coming through or requests for a meeting, please take those seriously. Try to fit us in as best that you can so that we can have some of those conversations and continue our trajectory. All right, next, so coming back to the intro video. So unless you guys have been ignoring all of our emails, you're aware that Labs is our initiative with 239, and we have left a big opportunity for Fusion Pointe as part of this initiative. So in that video you saw, we have built out physical space in 239 work for the 239 Labs meetings. We will be providing anyone that's participating in Labs access to the co-working space during the cohort. All of our Fusion Pointe mentors and entrepreneurs are welcome also to utilize Labs for in-person meetings when those start to happen. Big asterisk there. So obviously we were getting excited probably about 30 days ago, thinking that we were going to be meeting in person once again. But it looks like in Florida, at least, we're just going to keep that on hold as we get things squared away. But all of our Labs events will be in person and virtual, so mixed media, so that we won't let that stop us. The Labs cohort, the fall cohort is, the applications are open. The deadline for applications is August 16th. The cohort starts September, I think it's 14th, it's the second Monday in September, I believe, going off the top of my head here. And we would love to have as many Fusion Pointe companies involved in that first cohort as possible. There are some pretty major benefits to participating in that cohort, which I'll list out here in just a few seconds. But if you believe that you could use some of those benefits, some one-on-one focused mentoring, some intensive sessions, then we would love to have you participating in that. We are also looking for mentors and subject matter experts. So we've defined our agenda, and now we are filling in with SMEs and mentors. If you have any interest in participating in that, of course, we're going to ask, but if you want to raise your hand, please feel free to email us at info@239labs. The last bullet point here, some of you may not have dug in to the details, but there is no cost to participate in the labs program. There is no equity taken. This top startup will receive a $5,000 award, no strings attached. So there's going to be tons of opportunity for mentoring, tons of opportunity for growing your network. And if you come out on top of the cohort, expected to be 10 to 12 companies, then you will receive a nice little bump in the bank account as well. Exciting news on the lab side. We are officially part of GAN, the Global Accelerator Network. So that's exciting for us, but what does that mean for you, the mentors and entrepreneurs? So for entrepreneurs, there is GAN perks. So thousands of dollars in discounts available for services and tools for startups like AWS credits, HubSpot accounts, MailChimp, Twilio, SendGrid, all the different tools that you're using to build decks, to communicate with your team, to build your application. There are tons of discounts available there. There is a complete founder wellness program. So Bill mentioned the important to focus on mental health and having the opportunity to speak with mentors about that. Well, GAN provides a full suite of services, free and discounted, not only for you, the entrepreneur, but also for your family. GAN Ventures is also a part of the GAN program. So GAN has raised their own fund and do actively invest in GAN startups. So you will have opportunity and exposure to that. There's also GAN Corporate Connect. So that is a direct connection to the GAN corporate partners for opportunities for pilots, for opportunities for feedback and prospecting. And then mentors, so pretty nice benefit on both sides. So GAN has a network of mentors that startups can leverage. So if you're looking for some very specific help, then you'll be able to identify and communicate through their portal what exactly you're looking for. And they'll be able to help line you up with an appropriate mentor from all over the globe. But for our mentors as well, we can actually submit you into the mentor exchange program. So that would allow you to mentor in for other startups in other accelerators across the globe. And from what I understand from speaking with the GAN representatives, a lot of times that can also include trips on site to the physical location of that accelerator. Now, of course, when the timing is right. And then finally here, there is also a significant group of discounted HR services for payroll, for benefits, all of those types of services. And all of these benefits are accessible to you as part of the accelerator forever. So for the lifetime of your startup, you will have access to these discounts, to these mentors, to these wellness benefits. So that's a huge, huge value add. So with that being